Hey guys, welcome to Midas 101 with Jim Roese, RPM Dynamics. Today our video is going to be a little different than normal. Rather than spending time talking about the operation and feature sets of a Pro Series desk, we're going to spend time focusing on the difference of a Midas Pro 3, 6, or 9 system and a Pro X system. Not just from the feature set, but more about if you're an existing owner or user of this desk, what is the value in updating this desk to this desk versus purchasing a whole new Pro X system. We have several customers who already own these desks, and they've been asking us this question: why should we spend over half the money of buying a new system to upgrade our existing system? And is it money well spent? Well, my answer to that question is yes. We're going to spend a time, I'm going to try to be quick with this, but I'm going to go over the basic features and the basic changes in what you get in doing this upgrade that makes this a well spent money on your part to make this desk become this desk. So if you buy a Pro X system upgrade, actually what's happening is you're upgrading all of this to operate like this. And if you look at the two desks, they look very similar. The surface looks identical except for this section. And that's because, short of that section, on the surface, they are identical. So several people have said, well, if we're only changing these couple of parts, why does it cost so much money? Well, you're not just changing those parts. On a Midas system, the whole surface here is analog control. If you turn a knob, it feels like an analog knob because it is an analog knob. The buttons, the lights, every feature on this surface is an analog feature. And in order for these features to talk to the computers, Midas utilizes a PCB board about this big that's called a scan converter. And these boards live right under this section of the fader bays. What this board does is it takes every bit of information bidirectional from this surface, converts these analog signals into a digital signal that the computers can understand. So in order to change this master bay section or mixed bay section, you need to be able to make the new surface layout talk to the computers. So the original one has this mixed bay section in the scan converter. This one has this mixed bay section in the scan converter, so you can't use the same scan converter. So part of the upgrade is converting the surface and then converting the way that the surface talks to the computer. In order to move forward with the processing power and the channel count of these consoles, the computers in these consoles cannot support it. In 2006, when these computers were built, they were state-of-the-art, they were expensive, they were top of the line. And in order to do what they needed to do for that many channels with everything running and the horsepower it needed to be, the computers used in these consoles, along with the DSP cards in this mix engine, could support that. As computers have moved forward and processing has moved forward, as you know, you can have a computer from 7 years ago that cost you $2,500. You can buy a new one that costs you $600 that'll do more than the old one would. It's kind of the same thing with consoles. These are really just big control surfaces running a computer. On the new consoles, there are two new computers. Rather than the existing computers that are under these two bays in a Pro 3, 6, or 9, these consoles now have two brand new current computers that can support the channel count of 168 with the 96 buses and the 24 FX engines and all of the horsepower this console uses by utilizing those computers and the DSP power now in Neutron engine. So in this change, now on the surface, the actual physical changes are going to be this board, the scan converter, and the computers that are under these bays to make the horsepower this desk needs to run at be able to support what this console can do. So that's the surface changes. The rest of the surface is relatively the same. The router cards that send the signal back and forth to the DSP engine are the same. The faders are the same. The hardware is the same. That's why they could offer this as a competitive upgrade cost. Rather than coming out with a brand new surface of a new design when the technology for Neutron came out, they decided to make it affordable for the owners of these consoles to be able to get into that system by saying, if all of this hardware works, why not change out the parts and make it become this? So that's why they did that, to make it be an efficient way. Along with manufacturing, most of these parts are similar, which allows them to keep the price point of the Pro X console competitive on a number that really makes sense for what you get for the value. Along with the computer system, The old consoles used a DSP engine called the DL371. It had 7 card slots. In order to do the horsepower of a Pro 3, it utilized 4 of them. To do the horsepower of a Pro 6, it used 5, and the horsepower of a Pro 9, it used 6. The 7th card was a redundant card for backup in a system they use called N+1, which utilizes all the cards, and if one card goes down, there's always a spare to jump to that. That takes care of the horsepower this console needs. To give you an idea of how much horsepower they've introduced into the Neutron engine, everything that is happening in this engine for 168 channels on that console with all the effects engines, 24 of them running, everything active, they've reduced it to 3 cards in this box that can do all of it. There's 4 cards that it ships with. The 4th card is the redundant card, same as you would get with a 371. One of the other differences, including in the cost, is when you bought a 3.6 or 9 engine, you had to buy the additional DSP card, the 371A card, to get redundancy. They've included it in the system in Neutron. Now it's a standard part of the item. So it comes with full redundancy inside the box. So now you've got a console and a Neutron that can control your system. The rest of this hardware, like I said, is the same. So when you buy a new one that's the same, if you want to upgrade, they leave that hardware in place. When you decide to do a Pro X upgrade, the way the system works is you purchase your upgrade and then you send your console back to Midas. As RPM, we're actually authorized to do Pro X upgrades along with Midas in the US. Those are the 2 facilities that can do it. But in the course of doing this upgrade, you ship this desk back to Midas. It's about a 10-day turnaround. And what happens is they take this desk, they completely go everything. I've done the upgrades. It's a process that takes about 14 or 16 hours total in labor. Every button, every knob, every fader, every piece of this console is gone through to make sure that it functions 100% on the old desk before they will do the upgrade to the Pro X. If everything tests out perfect in the diagnostics on the console is then upgraded to a Pro X system. If there's anything wrong, if it's under warranty, it's covered under warranty. If it's out of warranty, it's a user expense to get the console to 100% functional before the Pro X upgrade happens, so that when the Pro X ships back to you, it's 100% functional. In the upgrade, they change out the computers, the scan converter, facial hardware, which is basically so the silk screening and all of the things that matter on the surface are taken care of. They upgrade all of that stuff, test your console back with diagnostics after it's done, and then the console is shipped back to you. Included in the price is the labor of the upgrade, the freight shipping to and from you, and the hardware. Also included in it, along with the Surface, when you buy that upgrade, it includes the Neutron engine. When you ship this stuff to you, what returns to you is the desk and the Neutron instead of the 371. They keep the 371s when they do the upgrade. There's a few reasons for it. One of the reasons is to take these out of circulation. If you were to allow this engine to stay and go back, you would probably see a plethora of people buying Surfaces and buying used 371s and devaluing the value of a Pro 9 in the world because of these boxes retaining in the world and people just trying to buy Surfaces to operate with them. As we move forward, we're trying to get these consoles, as Midas, I should say, to move into the world of Pro X. Part of that is because these consoles had to stop at performance upgrades on version 2.61. The reason for that is, as I told you, with the 2006 computers, they were full. They could do no more. So now if you buy a Pro 1, you'll get more performance in features than you get on your beautiful Pro 9 system. So if someone is touring or an end user and they have a show file, the files they have on a current version 3 Pro 1 will not translate into this desk. They will into a Pro X. So this upgrade allows you to take most of what you have and make this desk current. Even if it works, it may become less rider friendly for people as they move forward. So they're allowing you a way to make this desk that you already own most of become current. With this console upgrade, one of the other cool things that comes with the console as a option is this card called it's called a Neutron NB. And as I told you, there's 7 card slots used in this engine. There's 3 card slots used in this one, but 4th redundant. You have 3 slots that equal about this much space that is open space in the back of this console when you buy it. What they've done is in that space, they've created this new box here, which is called a Neutron NB, and it slides in the hole. And now to be able to get the I/O count you need to get more channels, they've added 10 AES-50 ports and 2 CM1 slots, which is basically like adding 2 network bridges into your system along with 10 more ports. So when we start looking at the value of the upgrade, when you buy one of these cards and you stick this card in there, you've got the I/O configuration that now you can put in Dante, Maddie, whatever extra AES cards, AES-50 cards, whatever you choose to do to add more I/O ports to this engine to be able to utilize the amount of I/O it has and to be able to place it wherever it needs to go, not be tied to just the number of fixed 8 ports that are on this box and the 3 on here. So you've gone from 11 on the existing system of AES-50 ports to 11 plus 10 is 21 plus 2 CM slots, which if you put AES-50 cards would be 25 ports available for you to do your I/O, which is more than you would need in most situations. But it really opens up the flexibility of this console to do what you need to do. One of the other things with these consoles is at front of house with only 3 ports. Sometimes you find people would like to have more ports available at front of house. Now with Neutron NB, there's so many ports. With the use of a DN9680 extender, this box allows you to take 8 AES-50 ports, and if you put one of these on either end between fiber or Cat5, you can move these ports from one end to the other. So basically, if you have a 9680 and an NB card, you can take 8 of the ports from this box and you can move them to front of house or another location in the venue to be able to pick up your ports in different places. With the only 8 ports on this, it's kind of hard to expand further. But if you wanted to, say, have 144 channels running on this desk, that is what 6 ports of AES-50 without redundancy, and if you wanted to do recording of those channels, you're already at 12 ports. So you've already outsourced the number of stuff you could do with this with recording. On this console, if you wanted to use all of your channels and do recording and hypothetically add waves, you're already running into a problem with too much I/O needed for the available ports. Between the Neutron and the NB card, they've opened up that avenue for it to work. Another thing about it is Neutron just launched this last year, and this is the new technology for Midas. So in moving into Neutron technology with this horsepower, you're future-proofing yourself in moving into a Pro X, that this Neutron engine is going to have value for another, with the standard lifespan of consoles, 8 to 10 years, I would say, something like that. So it's a good move forward to keep you current, to be able to allow all of your show files from a Pro 1 to a Pro X to be able to use on this console, which you can't do anymore on this console. And for the price point, if you add up the cost of the Neutron, you figure a few days labor of a tech to do an upgrade, you look at the price of the PCB to design and build the scan converter under there, the new current high performance computers that are inside of here. Once you put all of these parts together, including freight, and then you look at the price of a Pro X upgrade, it's actually quite affordable for what you're getting for it. And the costs that you're putting into your actual Surface are minimal. I hope this helps you out with making your decisions. We work with a lot of people and a lot of different, whether it be venues or touring acts or engineers in general. In Midas, we've got a large inventory. Between sales and rental and everything, we try to stay current. We've got a great relationship with Midas. So if you have any questions dealing with these upgrades, feel free to hit us up. And if there's anything we can do to help you move forward in any of your thoughts on this or purchasing a Pro X upgrade, feel free to give us a call and we'll do anything we can to help you moving forward. But this desk has become my favorite of the line. I like this desk, and for the little ones, I've got my favorites. But I would say this desk, since it's come out, the layout of it, I love it. The functionality of I love it, and I see this desk being an important part of my mixing career for a few years to come here. So I hope this works out for you. Again, if you have any questions, this is Jim, RPM Dynamics, Midas 101. This is a little different than our regular ones, but I hope that this video is something that you guys can find value in if you own one of these desks and you're looking to make a decision to move forward to purchase or to upgrade. It'll really take this desk into the future and keep you moving forward with everything else, okay? Thanks a lot.